Jeremy from Trading Safely. Just going to give you the first of our updates. Just to quickly explain what's going on. Each of the colours represent different time frames. So typically, green is daily, yellow is weekly, pink's monthly, semi-annual is that bluey colour, and orange is typically an annual. And it refers to all the studies throughout that you'll see in the Trading Safely toolkit. So, for instance, these horizontal lines, they're the bullish and bearish levels at the weekly level. So what we need to look for is the weekly close above the weekly level to be bullish, the weekly close below it to be bearish, in the middle sideways. Same with the monthlies at the top here. The weekly close above is bullish, weekly close below is bearish. We can do that for each time frame. Similarly, down the bottom here, we're looking at uptrends across time. So this is a weekly uptrend. This is the monthly, is a pink step up, uptrend. And down the bottom, we've got downtrends across time. So where you see a yellow stepping up, that's a weekly downtrend ending right there. And a monthly downtrend ending. And then a quarterly downtrend ending here in brown. So the colors represent time. Similarly here on the right-hand side, this is last month's the closes, the crosses. So the pluses are crosses, so that's last month's close in pink, last quarter's close in brown, last year's close in orange, and this is midpoints here. So last week's midpoint, last month's midpoint, last year's midpoint, last quarter's midpoint. And so when we look at gold and outlook for today, let's just have a quick look at a couple of charts that I've done earlier. This is on our Slack site that our members use. There's a couple of things when we look at the quarterly chart. We're clearly in a downtrend channel at the moment. We would need to break above this to be moving higher. So in the short term, however, when we look at the monthly chart, we did close the month lower in May, and we are right up against the downtrend line. So gold is in a precarious position. And when we look at the studies today, what we really want to see now is we want to take out a bearish level on the downside. So where is that? Well, there's a few places to look for that. Typically, we would look for a weekly close at the minimum under this bearish weekly level as a good start. When I look at the volume profile on the right-hand side, you've got some critical levels there. So that one sort of stands out there around 12. This quarterly close here even lines up with the volume profile. So I'll be watching for a close under 12.47 to open up that move down for gold. Now, where can gold move? Right now, gold can move. I'm just going to go to the weekly chart. You've got initial support for gold down here at 12.27.8, and then all the way down to 11.52 before gold sort of can turn higher. We do think gold is rotating up on a longer term basis. When we look at the last quarter, bullish and bearish levels, there it is there. We closed up here. So we closed above the brown upper level. That's a bullish signal. The market is rotating on the longer terms, the upside we think. But that doesn't preclude a spike low. Why do I say that? Because the monthly trends are bearish. Haven't been able to take out these monthly bullish levels for the last 3 months. So despite the fact that the quarterly is rotating potentially to the upside, it does look like the monthly trend has got a bit of weakness appearing. So for me, I'm looking for a close under this sort of 12.47 area to test lower down around this 11.52 zone, which also lines up with last year's close. Now, when we look at, if I flip over to the euro now, euro's been in a bullish position for a little while now. Just waiting for that to load up. Sorry about the delay, folks. Let's just start with a big picture view at the weekly level. So really the writing was there on the wall back at the end of Q1 in March when we had this quarterly closing level act as support. That's the first time in a very, very long time, as you can tell. So that has opened up resistance. We've got levels starting at 114 basically. I know there's a few zones, 1138, 114, and even up to 116 if it really wants to get going. Right now, it does have a potential closing peak forming. So just just needs to consolidate at the moment. But if we zoom into the short term, there's a big hole in the volume profile right here. You can see where the market can move quickly. In terms of, if I just look at the bullish and bearish levels, really we would expect the euro to close above this 1.1266, or even just a touch higher at the top of this zone. It's probably 1.290 or something like that would probably be the weekly bullish signal again. Probably what you don't want to see on the downside is, well, it's actually probably a long way on the downside. I think you've got to be all the way back down here, to be frank, to set off some really major longer term sell signals. From a daily perspective, we're probably looking at, if we were to start closing back under here, what's that level there? Yeah, back under this sort of 1.088 level from the daily timing, then that could open up lower. So in the short term, the euro is seemingly overstretched. Over time, I'll explain to you what these little pink dots mean, but refers to the relationship between time, and there is evidence that the euro is getting overstretched, but we certainly haven't had any bearish outcomes in the short term. So not quite ready to sell, I don't think, and we'll update you tomorrow.